Have you ever heard of an engine that ran for more than 3 million miles and never gave up? Sounds like something out of a trucker's legend, right? But today, you're about to discover a real story that proves some machines are more than metal. They're built with soul, sweat, and the kind of endurance only found on the open road. In the world of trucking, reliability isn't just a preference, it's survival. An engine failure in the middle of nowhere can mean delays, lost income, or worse. That's why this story is so extraordinary. It's not just about an engine, it's about what happens when world-class engineering meets discipline, care, and a deep respect for the machine. And the result? A truck that has seen more of America than most of us ever will, and is still going strong. Today, we're diving into the jaw-dropping case of a 1988 Peterbilt 379, equipped with a Caterpillar 34006B engine, one of the most respected power plants in trucking history. This isn't a collector's piece sitting in a garage. It's a working truck that logged over 3 million miles. That's right, more than 4.8 million kilometers, and continues to roll with its original engine block. But this isn't just a celebration of mileage, it's a blueprint. How did it last this long? What kind of maintenance did it require? And more importantly, what can today's drivers learn from it to make their own rigs last longer, run smoother, and maybe even hit the million-mile mark themselves? We'll explore all of that in this video. From the raw power and technical brilliance behind the Caterpillar 3406B to the personal story of the trucker who drove this beast for decades. This is more than a story. It's a lesson in mechanical loyalty and human dedication. So buckle up, because whether you're a seasoned hauler, a diesel mechanic, or just someone who loves stories of extreme performance and endurance, you're in for a ride that spans millions of miles. And one incredible engine that just won't quit. When it comes to American trucking legends, few names command the same respect as the Peterbilt 379. Introduced in the mid-80s and produced until 2007, the 379 became a symbol of pride, power, and prestige among long-haul truckers across the United States. With its long hood, bold chrome grille, and classic square headlights, it wasn't just a truck. It was a statement. But what made this machine truly iconic wasn't just the design. It was what roared under the hood, the Caterpillar 3406B engine. The Caterpillar 3406B, often nicknamed the Mechanical Cat, is a 14.6-liter inline-six diesel engine that redefined durability in the heavy-duty world. Designed in the pre-electronic era, it earned a reputation for being simple, tough, and nearly indestructible. With proper maintenance, it could haul freight coast to coast for decades without breaking a sweat. That's exactly what happened in the case we're focusing on. The truck in question? A 1988 Peterbilt 379 owned and operated by a dedicated trucker out of Montana. Over the span of more than 30 years, this beast racked up over 3 million miles, not in laps around a parking lot, but through every weather condition, from the scorching Arizona heat to the snow-packed highways of the Dakotas. And impressively, its original engine block was never replaced. This wasn't a company fleet truck passed around from driver to driver. It was a single-owner rig. One man, one machine, one mission: keep rolling. That dedication shows in every mile logged. The driver, known by many in the community simply as Red, followed a strict maintenance schedule, oil changes every 10,000 miles, valve adjustments on time, no skipped services, no shortcuts. But it's more than just the numbers or the specs. The 379 was, and still is, a workhorse built for life on the road. Its long wheelbase and sleeper cab made it ideal for comfort during those weeks-long hauls. It had the balance of brute strength and everyday livability, a key reason why so many drivers fell in love with it. The Cat 3406B inside it? That engine wasn't just built, it was engineered for punishment. Heavy loads, steep grades, endless hours. It chewed through them all. Its mechanical fuel system gave it a kind of old-school charm and simplicity that many mechanics miss today. No computers, no digital sensors, just pure diesel power, manually tuned by the hands of men who knew how to make engines sing. And that's part of the magic here. This wasn't some high-tech marvel full of complicated electronics. It was an analog masterpiece, simple, reliable, and powerful. The kind of engine that you could tear down in a shop, rebuild, and trust again for another million miles. This Peterbilt 379 became more than just a truck. It became a companion, a symbol of endurance, and a rolling testament to American engineering. It's still out there, rolling, shifting gears, climbing grades, just like it did when Ronald Reagan was in office. And every mile it adds is another chapter in a story that's already one for the history book. But that begs the question, how exactly did it survive for so long? What specific factors kept this mechanical beast alive and thriving for over 3 million miles? That's what we'll uncover next. You might think running a truck for over 3 million miles is just a matter of luck, but luck had little to do with it. When it comes to engine longevity, especially on a working rig like the 1988 Peterbilt 379 with its original Caterpillar 3406B, the truth is a combination of solid engineering, relentless discipline, and years of consistent care. Let's break it down. First, the Caterpillar 3406B wasn't your average engine. It was built in an era where durability mattered more than cutting-edge electronics. Unlike today's emissions-heavy, sensor-laden engines, the 3406B was purely mechanical, making it simpler to maintain and more resistant to electronic failure. It was designed to run hard, and it responded well to regular attention. The block itself is made from cast iron, heavy and rugged, with enough material in its construction to absorb punishment without warping or cracking. The crankshaft, pistons, rods, and heads were engineered for endurance, not just performance. This isn't a lightweight engine. It's a heavyweight champ with a reputation for going the distance. But no engine survives that long without exceptional maintenance habits. In this case, Red, the truck's owner, followed a strict maintenance protocol that never wavered. Every 10,000 miles, oil and filters were changed religiously. Not just the engine oil, but also fuel and air filters. Transmission and differential oils were checked and flushed on schedule. Cooling system, flushed regularly, and kept within perfect temperature ranges. More importantly, Red understood how to listen to his engine. He didn't drive it like he was racing down the drag strip. Instead, he shifted gears at the right RPMs, didn't lug the engine, and avoided over-revving. That kind of driving discipline may not sound glamorous, but it's one of the biggest reasons engines last. Running an engine at consistent RPMs within its power band reduces stress, minimizes wear, and prevents heat damage over time. Fuel quality was also a factor. Red made sure to fill up at trusted stations. He avoided watered-down diesel or low-grade fuel that could gum up injectors or cause premature wear. Clean fuel, clean oil, and clean air. It's a simple formula, but it worked. Even the way Red parked the truck made a difference. He always let the engine idle for a few minutes after long drives to allow the turbo to cool properly, preventing oil coking in the turbo bearing. He didn't shut it off while it was screaming hot. Small habits like that, multiplied over millions of miles, are what kept the 3406B alive and roaring. Let's not forget cooling and lubrication, two of the most critical systems in any diesel engine. Red never skimped on coolant checks or radiator cleaning. The engine was never allowed to overheat. High-quality lubricants were always used, and not the cheapest oil off the shelf. He treated the engine like a partner, not a tool to be run into the ground. Mechanics who've inspected the engine over the years say it's a marvel, not because it's untouched, but because it's well cared for. Parts have been replaced when needed: belts, hoses, injectors, and turbos. But the original block, crankshaft, and head are still there. That's almost unheard of at 3 million miles. But here's something that really stands out. The truck never sat idle for long periods. That may sound counterintuitive, but it turns out that running regularly is better than letting a truck sit and rot. When a diesel engine is used consistently, its fluids stay moving, seals remain lubricated, and rust and corrosion are less likely to form. Red's Peterbilt was almost always on the move, which helped preserve the engine. Today's engines are faster, cleaner, and more efficient, but few can match the old-school resilience of the 3406B. Sure, They come with better fuel economy and advanced diagnostic, but they also rely on delicate sensors, complex electronics, and emission systems that can turn minor issues into costly downtime. The 3406B, it just keeps going. So, what's the secret? It's not one thing, it's everything. It's great engineering, smart driving, top-tier maintenance, and a driver who never took shortcuts. And maybe, just maybe, a little bit of love for the open road. Now that we've seen what makes this engine practically immortal, the real question is, what can today's truckers learn from this story? Let's talk about the takeaways that could help you and your rig go the distance. After hearing the story of a truck that's clocked over 3 million miles and is still out there grinding asphalt, one thing becomes clear. This isn't just about a machine. It's about a mindset, a way of working, driving, and living that embraces longevity over shortcuts, consistency over chaos, and pride over passivity. For today's truckers, the roads may have changed, the regulations may have tightened, and the engines may look more like computers than iron beasts. But the core values remain the same. If you take care of your truck, it'll take care of you. That's the first and most powerful lesson from this story. Discipline wins. Red, the man behind the wheel of the legendary Peterbilt 379, didn't do anything magical. He did what every owner-operator knows they should do, but often don't. He followed the manual. He didn't delay maintenance. He respected his engine's limits. That kind of discipline, applied over years, builds something rare. Trust between man and machine. Quality matters. Whether it's choosing the right oil, using OEM parts, or fueling up at reputable stations, every decision affects your engine's life. Red didn't cut corners, and his truck rewarded him. In an age where fast fixes and cheap parts are everywhere, this story reminds us that doing it right the first time still pays off. Old school still rules. While modern engines are packed with tech and regulation, there's something enduring about the old mechanical giant. They may not be as clean or efficient, but they're reliable, understandable, and repairable, and that makes them special. The 3406B engine didn't just survive, it thrived because it was designed for endurance, not just performance. Consistency is king. You don't need to be an expert diesel mechanic to keep a truck running well, but you do need to be consistent. That means routine oil changes, watching gauges, listening to the engine, and acting early when something feels off. Small habits lead to big results. Red's story is living proof of that. And finally, respect the road. Long-haul trucking isn't just a job, it's a lifestyle. It wears on your body, your relationships, and your rig. But if you respect the journey, if you treat the road, the truck, and the miles with the seriousness they deserve, then the rewards go far beyond the paycheck. They live in every state line you cross, every load you deliver, and every mile that ticks by without trouble. The Peterbilt 379, with over 3 million miles, is more than a truck. It's a monument to American grit, engineering, and the undying spirit of the men and women who keep this country moving. It tells us that greatness doesn't always come fast. It comes mile by mile, bolt by bolt, day by day. So the next time you climb into your cab, fire up your engine, and hit the highway, remember, you're not just driving a truck. You're building a legacy,